This is Team 3's case presentation on Burt's Bees. Here's a bit of company background info. Co-founder Roxanne Quimby came from humble beginnings. She lived in a tent with her twin children on $150 a week. She bounced around from job to job to make ends meet, whether it be waitressing or retail jobs, whatever she could find. In 1984, she met co-founder Burt Shavitz. He was an ex-photographer for life in New York Magazine. He lived in a repurposed turkey coop with 30 beehives to make ends meet. When they both met, they decided to pool $400 to start a honey and beeswax business, and they bought old kitchen appliances and ran the business from an abandoned schoolhouse. The company's first big break came in 1989 at a wholesale show in Massachusetts. An upscale boutique owner purchased a candle from Burt's and liked it so much that they wanted their own shipments. This allowed the company to expand and hire more employees, and by 1993 they employed 44 employees, which allowed profits to increase every year since its founding. National retailers like LL Bean, Macy's, and Whole Foods soon stocked their products, and they have sales representatives nationwide. Thanks to Quimby's business knowledge, the company never took out a loan and was debt-free. Quimby was so debt-averse and cash-ware, she refused to sell products to any retailer that didn't pay its bill within 30 days. Despite its success, Burt's Bees faced three problems due to its northern Maine location. It faced high transport costs, which since it wasn't near any metropolitan areas, Burt's Bees paid a fortune to ship products and receive materials. They also faced high payroll taxes, and as a result, they were being taxed 10% of its payroll by the state of Maine, and they lacked expertise. With the 44 employees, Quimby was quoted as, they brought a set of hands and a good attitude to work, but they had no skills, and as a result, the company made everything by hand. Burt's Bees garnered so much success that it actually started to struggle with demand since its start. Quimby couldn't focus on broad management issues because she spent most of her time pouring beeswax alongside the other workers because there was only 44 employees. Quimby felt she had to move the company away from Maine because the sheer expansion of the product. So she wanted to decide on a location that was central that would help them distribute their products nationwide. And she finally decided to bring the company to North Carolina.
Burt's Bees operational effectiveness. Burt's Bees encountered capacity issues due to the expansion of the company when they decided they need to move from Maine to Mooresville, North Carolina. The company needed to assess its current supply chain function and network after their move to North Carolina. They needed to look over cost, risk, and timeline of the 3PL operation while considering whether or not to own and operate their new distribution center in North Carolina. Burt's new distribution center in Mooresville, North Carolina featured 144,000 square feet of functioning space. By the time Burt's Bees only need 80,000. The reasoning for buying such a big distribution center was to avoid the growth trap. With the bigger distribution center, Burt's Bees can consolidate finished goods in one building as well as meet its growth projections without missing deliveries due to inventory issues. Strategic planning for competitive advantage. Strategic planning is the managerial process of creating and maintaining a fit between the firm's objectives, resources, and evolving market opportunities. Burt's Bees strategic planning can be defined by 3 P's of business, with their commitment focused on profits, people, and the planet. Burt's Bees are advocates for sustainability, natural products, and vested interest in protecting the environment. This gives Burt's Bees a unique competitive strategy. Burt's Bees value-based pricing. When it comes to pricing, the company first assesses customer needs and value perceptions. With Burt's Bees, they set a target price to match a customer's perceived value of the product they offer. They are able to justify the higher price point for products because of the natural ingredients that Burt's Bee uses. This enables Burt's Bees to keep a pricing strategy that's sustainable for them. Burt's Bees keeping prices the same. Over the years, Burt's Bees has created a strong and loyal customer base due to their value-based pricing. Their quality and effective products are able to stay the same price point, and it hasn't fluctuated over the years. This enables them to keep a high market share from gaining consumer trust, and it also creates a unique competitive advantage for Burt's Bees, as well as potentially growth in a globally emerging markets for Burt's Bees.
So for the internal analysis, it's good to conduct a SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis gives you the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of a particular company. The strengths and weaknesses are the internal aspects of the company, and the opportunities and threats are the external aspects. The goal is to create a competitive advantage by increasing the company's strengths and opportunities while also decreasing their weaknesses and threats. Take a look at a SWOT analysis for Burt's Bees in particular. Some of the strengths of Burt's Bees include that their products are environmentally friendly and all natural, their products are wide-ranging and diverse, and that they sell skincare products, lip care products, baby care products, and men's grooming products. They're also now sold in up to 40 different countries around the world. Some of the weaknesses include the price point for most of their products, which is usually much higher than the competitors. They're now owned by the Clorox company, which could cause some confusion amongst consumers where Burt's Bees stands in regards to their ethics and their company culture. And also, Burt's Bees can do a better job of advertising to a younger audience and using the digital technology available to us now. Some of the opportunities include Burt's Bees being a market leader in the lip balm market at 18.5%. They're also able to advertise and market their product different than their competitors because they do sell all natural products. They also have the opportunity to enter other markets as they have with baby care products and grooming products. Some of the threats include when a large competitor may also want to sell their own natural products, probably doing so at a much lower price point. The honeybee colony collapse disorder of 10 years ago pretty much decimated the honeybee colonies in North America, and although we are rebounding quite well, it's still a mystery of what went on, so it's something that is always going to be possible in the future. Burt's Bees also recently started selling in China, where they allow animal testing, which kind of clashes with Burt's Bees' anti-cruelty policy. Now we'll take a look at an external analysis. The SPC model, which stands for Structure, Conduct, and Performance, is a good way to conduct a external analysis. The structure is the industry structure, which includes the competing firms, the products, and the cost of entry and exit. The conduct are the strategies used by firms to gain a competitive advantage, and the performance is the performance of each individual firm in the industry. The goal is to determine whether or not a firm in a particular industry has the possibility for above average profits. So for the structure of Burt's Bees, they're most well known for their lip care products, but in recent years they have actually entered the skincare industry. Top competitors in that industry include Baby Ganix, Nature's Natural Solutions, Derma E, Blistex, Caris, among others. The products in the industry are mostly homogeneous in that most skin products do the same thing pretty much. They can be substituted for one another, although not as much as you think, because the ingredients of each product do become important to the consumer. Also, the capital required to enter the industry is high, although other barriers to entry are pretty low. For the conduct, we take a look at the strategies that firms will use in the industry. One strategy firms will use is they will try to gain a foothold in international markets. Also, a lot of companies will follow the newer trend that consumers are interested in natural or green products and strategies, things that are eco-friendly. Also, firms will try to sell their products in ways other than in-store sales, as internet selling has become more and more popular. For the performance, the industry itself grew by 6% last year. And as I said, the industry is pretty easy to enter, but only firms with good resource management will be able to prosper. The competitive advantages in the industry are unique, natural products, and also being able to minimize costs as much as possible, as with most companies. There's also competitive parity in the industry, as no company can do something so drastically different that they will be able to create a sustained competitive advantage with their products.